You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
From Dover Motor Speedway, the Icon Holiday Mixer Series 2024 edition is ready to take on the Monster Mile. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the first state that ratified the United States Constitution back in 1787. And I'll tell you what, folks, we're ready to get it on for the first time here tonight with Miles the Monster overlooking us. And for the first time in a long time, you're going to see those Gen 6 cars turning around these four turns on the concrete bowl, formerly known as Dover Downs International Raceway. I'm Dave Regal alongside Colin McDonough, and we're going to be with you through it all, from the green flag to the checkered flag, right here on Sim Racing Media. And folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We want to thank you for welcoming us into your homes, onto your phones, wherever you may be and however you may be listening, as we take a quick peek here at Kevin Gunter. Everybody trying to check in tonight as things get ready to rock and roll here. I'm guessing Kevin Gunter, could be Gunther. I don't see an umlaut, so we're going to go with Gunther. As I'll tell you what, that Mike Skinner, number 31, Lowe's Chevrolet, makes its way down the front stretch. Colin, this is looking like it's going to be a little bit of a throwback look tonight.
I'm liking the cars that I'm seeing, Dave. This is a good look.
Kyle Gilbert out here in the 227 being scored as in the 58 being scored as the 227. Little Kellogg's action here. Can't tell what that. Looks like it's a little bit of a Grinch miss here on the front of the 30 machine. Brock Hersey in the old number 24 and Furniture Road number 78 for Denver Mattress. That Toyota Camry working its way down the backstretch. Of course, here we are in the warm-up segment. Unfortunately, yours truly, I couldn't be available last week as I had prior family commitments. I had to wait about 2 hours and 45 minutes for a 2-minute and 10-second ballet performance by my daughter. Have kids, they said it'll be fun.
Oh, come on. I'm sure you had a great time.
Had a fantastic time. Fabulous time, but we're ready to get rocking and rolling here tonight. 80 degrees the sim temperature if you're standing in the virtual stands here at Dover, and 108 degrees on the concrete, 22 degrees for 22% for relative humidity, so it's going to be hot and dry down there. And I'll tell you what, from experience, Dover is just a bright, hot, it is just, we were there early in the season, and it was just uncomfortable. The only thing that I'll say is that basically beer was cheaper than lemonade, so we went with the beer option.
Yeah,
we'll not be doing that this evening.
It holds that temperature right inside of it. It bakes in there.
It does, and for each of these drivers as they get themselves rolling around here, I mean, you know, they're going. If it was the real life drivers, these guys would be experiencing some of the crazier temperatures as we go on board here with Brian Smith in the 78. We can see just how violent that transition is from the back straightaway into turn 3, and then the pop-up that comes out of turn 3, or I'm sorry, out of turn 4, is just, it's got to be a kidney buster. It really has to be. Let's see who's going to come out. Looks like we're going to be waiting for Ryan Patty. We're going to see if we can get... you can almost see just the way that these drivers are coming out of there. All that momentum. This is an even better camera angle. But you can see where all of that tire rub is on the inside of turn 3. And all of that torque is making its marks here coming through turn 4. And the transition from 4 to 3 is just vicious. I'm sorry, 4 to the front stretch.
Yeah, it's got that little bump there, and it'll catch a lot of drivers out. They may hang on to it and feather the throttle a bit, but the car will get squirrely coming over that bump.
And, of course, now the warm-up is finished anyway. So we're going to have to get a quick peek at that when we go green flag racing here in just a moment. I want to thank everybody once again for tuning in with Colin and I tonight, Dave Regal and Colin McDonough. The big show on Sunday night here in prime time. Of course, we're opposite something else that's near and dear to my heart tonight. We'll get into that a little bit later. As we pull up our starting grid, 10 cars going to take the green flag tonight for these 200 laps. Cody Neal, he's going to sit on our pole position. He'll be joined in the front row by Brian Smith. Jacob Smith and Kyle Gilbert, they're going to be side by side in row number 2, while row 3 is going to have Ryan Patty and Nathan Finnegan. Kevin Gunther, we saw him a little while ago in the 31 machine. He's going to be to the inside of row number 4, while Hanover Fist is going to be on the outside of row number 4. And rounding out your field, Brock Hersey to the inside of row 5, and Braxton Deweese, he's going to start shotgun on the field. So 10 cars scheduled to take the green flag tonight, and kind of a small field, Colin. That should make things pretty interesting.
Yeah, this is not the field that I think some of these competitors were expecting, but it'll definitely make for some great action on track. Looks like state breaks at lap 50 and 100. That'll shake things up a little bit for these drivers.
The Iracing.com pace truck bringing them down the backstretch towards turn number 3, and of course that crossover. That's a pretty unique crossover between Bally's Casino and the infield here at Dover Motor Speedway. To me, I just think it looks really cool.
It is a unique one.
The iRacing.com pace car dives down pit road, and folks, you know what that means. The only thing that's left to do is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab some popcorn, your honey buns, and settle in. Race fans, it's show time! Green flag in the air, and already Cody Neal and Brian Smith take it side by side and drag race down the back chute.
Getting single filed out pretty early on, which is nice to see for the long run.
We're going to see a lot of long run strategies here tonight, I'm fairly certain, just simply because, you know, with this few amount of cars, you know, in the field itself, there's really no reason to try to beat one another to death. As we take a look a little bit further back here, here's Kevin Gunther, as he's just behind Nathan Finnegan. Fast time on the racetrack right now was laid down by Braxton DeWeese, the Interstate Ford number 5 Mustang. Not a dark horse tonight. Of course, that now that we've gone Gen 6 for the evening, we get to see that old look to all of these cars.
These Gen 6 cars are an absolute blast. I've become quite fond of them.
Yeah, I have to be honest, I really miss the excitement of the Gen 4 cars. That solid rear axle makes you have to drive a little bit more off that right rear, especially at a place like this at Dover.
100% true, Dave.
Well, here we are, Brian Smith, Cody Neal. They're starting to separate themselves a little bit, but check out Nathan Finnegan right now. He's under assault from the 31.
Not the place you want to find yourself in the middle of that sandwich.
No, not at this stage in the race. I mean, you know, for a lot of these drivers, they're trying to get themselves settled in, not get too out of control here early. As we take a look a little bit further back here, as we go on board with Braxton DeWeese. Now riding out of turn 4 and onto the front stretch, let's listen to him come down here into 1. He's staying in the throttle for a vast majority of this. Oh, a little loose coming out of 2. He's actually staying in the throttle a little bit more than I would expect in a situation like this. But hey, if it works for him, it works for him.
Yeah, you never know until you're on the track just what the grip levels are going to be like and just how forgiving the track will be as far as throttle input goes. My experience with Dover has always been a good one. It can really be brutal though, especially when on the floor.
Big day in sports not too far from here. As just checking in on some scores from around the National Football League. I know here we are in prime time, and, you know, hey, just because it's NASCAR tonight doesn't mean there's not other things going on in the world. The Vikings beat, wow, that was interesting. It just disappeared off my screen. Thanks, ESPN. Hey.
Looks like we're seeing 3/10 fall off already on lap times.
I can't believe that. I mean, that means that this thing is like a cheese grater right now in this rubber.
Yeah, so some of these cars that have set, 23 zeros, now they're clicking off 23 fours. Some of the cars further back that were in the 23 twos, they're now in the 23 sixes, so it's about 4/10 fall off already.
Well, here they are, running the way they are. Brian Smith, he's up a spot. Cody Neal slides back into second. Kyle Gilbert up a position. Nathan Finnegan up 2. Jacob Smith down 2. Kevin Gunther up 1. And right now, our biggest mover in the upward direction is Braxton Deweese. He's up 3 positions, running in 7th right now. As I was starting to mention a little bit ago, the Minnesota Vikings knock off the Seattle Seahawks 27-24, and ending the long win streak for the Philadelphia Eagles today in, Landover, Maryland, not too far from here. As a matter of fact, the Philadelphia Eagles fall to the Washington Redskins 36-33 as the Dallas Cowboys are about to open up Sunday Night Football against Tampa Bay in Arlington. So a big day for sports. We're glad you turned it right here on YouTube.com or over on our Facebook page. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. Chris Deweese saying good evening, race fans. Merry Christmas to everyone. And you know what? Sim Racer says this league is the premier sim racing experience and that everyone is so talented.
My goodness.
And these races are so competitive. Oh, my.
Kevin Gunther had a moment coming off of 2. Way to keep it going in the right direction. Getting a lot of pressure. Yep, and Ryan Patty's going to make that move stick. I suspect some of these drivers are having either struggling with tire wear or just struggling with tire temperature. The track temp being a pretty warm 105 degrees. I think these tires are just getting pretty hot and starting to slide a lot. So while Braxton Deweese has been doing a phenomenal job moving his way up the field, some of these other drivers have just fallen back a little bit.
Just trying to mess around with SDK here for the time being. SDK doesn't seem to want to record anything. That's fun. We love that for us. Head over fist here in the 69. Whoa!
Oh my!
Loose, my God. Let's run that back, since we do have that capability.
Heavier contact with the wall than you want to have this early on in the session.
He had a heck of a run, and it's just he couldn't get that thing woed up and slowed down coming out of 4. I mean, it looked like he just had a full head of steam going in there. Let's look at that again. And you can see he's drawing right into the rear of the 31.
He had a big run on that 31 car, and just it looks like he got tight on the exit of 4.
It's a little tag in the wall, but he stays moving forward. So fortunately for Hanover Fist, he keeps moving forward. Timing and scoring finally deciding that it wanted to work for me here. Thank you, SDK. Brian
Contact
Smith.
with the wall.
Brian
It's going to
Smith.
be a common thread.
True. The Allen Experience checking in. He claims that no one's going to be winning the Allen Experience bonehead move of the race tonight. The race is still young here, Allen. 21 laps in the books of 200. And for you folks that don't know what Allen's talking about, Alan Bergen, our teammate here, and my brother from another mother down there in St. Louis. I love him like the brother that we keep in the cupboard under the stairs. Every now and then when I'm watching a race that he's racing in, I feel compelled to scream hysterically because he does something boneheaded. And so we've named a trophy every race for the driver that makes me scream the loudest. And it's usually somebody who does the boneheaded thing. So here we are, boneheaded move of the race.
Glad Alan's tuning in. Maybe he can give us some input by the end of the race on if he believes someone deserves that award.
He is an expert. I'll give him that. I shouldn't say. I love Alan to death, and he had a rough couple of days of about 2 weeks ago, and he called me in the middle of the day, and I'll tell you what, my heart went out to him. And, you know, Alan is he is a great guy, and we couldn't get the work that we do here at Sim Racing Media done without him.
Alan makes it happen. He really does.
He really, really does. I mean, you know, that's not just a couple of, you know, we would never tell him to his face because he'd probably turn pink or have a heart attack and drop over. but we can tell him here on the broadcast because, you know, we know that it's the truth. As we look a little further back here, drivers starting to get themselves nice and spread out, if you will, as we look. Jacob Smith chasing down Nathan Finnegan here, the 21 and the 6 going at it. But that number 21 Bush machine, whoa! He gets a little loose coming out of 2 and down the back chute. So far, so good here. 26 laps in the books on our way to lap number 50. Of course, they're going to have 5 total sets of tires tonight, so they start 5, they lay 4. Stages are going to end at the completion of laps 50 and 100. And oddly enough, they're going to have a 24x penalty max in here then every 9. So I don't see a whole lot of that being a problem tonight. And they're going to have 3 attempts at the green-white checker should we have to go to NASCAR overtime as the Cowboys and the Buccaneers get ready to get underway in Arlington.
And Dave, I believe we're 28 laps in now, and I'm seeing about a second and change of fall off. So I think this track is really roasting those tires.
Well, you know, the interesting thing is that because we're in a fixed setup, these whoa! Watch the 69 and the 31 right here. Hey, baby. What you got cooking? Good Lord. The 69 of Hanover Fist just slides on past Kevin Gunther. That was dangerous, and then some. But, you know, one of the things with these fixed setups is that everybody's got the same setup. Not one person is going to have a, you know, an edge, so to speak. And suddenly I can't control anything with my Stream Deck. This is nice.
I'm quite fond of fixed setup in the sense that everybody's on a level playing field. But boy, can it be frustrating when you don't like the setup and you're just struggling and some of your opponents are some of the competition's just pulling away from you.
Yeah, and that's something that we see very often on iRacing where, you know, some of these guys, and it depends on if that setup is tailored to you, so to speak. If you're somebody that is, you know, likes it loose and it just happens to be loose, hey, more power to you. But for some of these guys, you know, they like something that's a little bit more neutral. As we ride along here with each of these drivers coming through turns 3 and 4, you know, you have to understand that some guys are just better. Now, we can get a really good look at the way that these cars, and I had a chance to stand literally right here, just on the safe side of the fence, if you will. And the amount of momentum and weight distribution that comes with this is just incredible. In fact, I'm waiting for somebody else to come through here. We're going to slow it down at quarter speed. Here they come. Watch the way that this is about to transfer. See that front splitter floating the way that it is. You can see daylight under some of these cars with the way that speed is rolling.
What a battle this has been. Hanover Fist and Kevin Gunther just they want that 8th spot.
I mean, hey, look, it makes your race go a little bit faster when you've got somebody to duke it out with.
It always is a lot more fun when you have somebody to actually race against.
James Batzer saying, let the monster eat over in our Facebook feed. Thanks, James, for checking in. Glad to have you with us. Of course, glad everybody's with us tonight. It's not often that we get a chance on a Sunday night to get all the streams up, to get everything rocking and rolling on both sides, the YouTube and the Facebook side. Brian Smith and Cody Neal, though, if you've looked here, you know, historically, they're basically matching one another step for step. I mean, Cody Neal's been about 0.3 of a second behind Brian Smith for the last, 24 or so laps. And,
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, it just seems like they're perfectly fine settling in for where they are. And that, to me, shows a lot of discipline here on the racetrack.
Yeah, they're clicking off roughly the same lap times down to the 100th. So I think they're content with the way things are for the time being. You know, knowing full well that you have a stage break at the end of lap 50 and the end of lap 100. You know, part of this is just making sure that you make it to the end of the stage break without any incident. As Hanover Fist has come down pit road.
Yeah, not sure what this is, if he thinks he wants to try to flip the stage, maybe.
Could be.
We see that pretty often in these situations, so that's entirely possible. Now all of a sudden everything's switching around on us.
Oh,
Love that.
seeing the car sitting there for that extended period of time.
We'll get it fixed. There it is. This has to do with an update. Yeah, not sure what Hanover Fist is doing down here.
Looks like he took tires and he's back on his way, so
He may have been getting a little bit of damage repaired there.
yep. Bit of an extended stop. Just shy of 40 seconds at the pits.
I mean, 40 seconds in the pits, he basically just went down 2 laps, 3 laps now.
2 laps. Yep. As Brock Hersey comes into the pits. So Dave, you are correct. Maybe there are some drivers trying to flip the stages. Hanover Fist is back in. Did he speed on pit road? Oh man, that's a tough break.
Looking to see now, I don't see any penalties, so he may just be coming in. Nah, it's got to be a pass-through.
And it is a relatively slow pit lane speed limit here at Dover. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's 35 miles an hour. So it's a very significant difference between your top speed on the back straightaway and the speed you need to reduce to for pit road. But Hanover Fist back on their way. Going to be a handful of laps down at this point.
Brian Smith, Cody Neal, here we are, 5 to go in stage number 1. Dave Regal and Colin McDonough with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. As apparently SDK decided that it forgot your last name. It just omitted it until I added it back in.
Hey, I can remain that anonymous. That's fine by me.
Nathan Finnegan chasing down Cody Neal, as now Brian Smith has extended his lead over Cody Neal to about 1.5 seconds. Cody Neal down to about 1/4 second over Nathan Finnegan. Not sure what's bringing that on, or maybe Cody Neal's starting to maybe drop the parachute here. Or something's heinously wrong, because Finnegan is closing in on Neal like a homing missile, and they're both falling off pace from Brian Smith, where Neal was holding underneath Smith for so long at 0.3 of a second, now is behind him 1.7 seconds. I mean, everything's going to bunch itself back up at the end of lap number 50, but still, this just seems a little uncharacteristic, if you will.
Yeah, Cody Neal looks like he's about 0.2 off the pace of Brian Smith right now, lap after lap. Looks like he got something sorted out. It's Kyle Gilbert has come down pit road. But Cody Neal definitely...
Here on the final lap, check this out.
Oh, my goodness.
In the final lap of stage 1, Nathan Finnegan thinks that he wants to take on Cody Neal. Neal almost has to throw the block to maintain that position. But Nathan Finnegan almost gave Cody Neal a run for his money. However, Brian Smith still captures the green and white checkered flag.
Looks like Kyle Gilbert is the one that decided to flip the stage. He'll cycle back to the front if everybody else comes down pit road on a fresh set of tires and a full tank of fuel.
We'll get a hold of Brian Smith after he comes in for his pit stop. But the way it shakes out here on the lead lap at the end of stage 1 is Brian Smith, Cody Neal, Nathan Finnegan, Braxton DeWeese, who's all the way up from the final position, Jacob Smith, Ryan Patty, and Kevin Gunther, your top 7 on the lead lap. Looks like Brian Smith going to be bringing everybody down pit road. Hey, easy there, fellas.
Ooh. Oh my. They're looking eager to get down there.
The 6 really wanted to get underneath there. Nearly contact between Neal and Smith. I don't know what on God's green earth these guys are doing, but
I think there was contact further back.
Cody Neal really apparently wants to beat Brian Smith off of pit road.
A little bump draft down pit road. Why not?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen bump drafting on pit road.
Let's see who can get out of the pit road first.
It's going to be a close one here as we go to the pit lane. Cam, here's the 78 dropping down the left side. He's going to drive through the... Oh.
Yep.
If we weren't on iRacing, it would have been Cody Neal.
Certainly would have.
Brian Smith makes it off of pit road first. Let's see if we can get a hold of him here. Nope. I cannot get a hold of Brian Smith because they are in a locked... Wonder if I can get in there. Nope. They're in a locked chat room. That's a shame. Well, that kind of stinks. Well, in lieu thereof, we're going to step aside and pay some bills here on Sim Racing Media. We apologize for not being able to get a hold of Stage 1 winner Brian Smith, but when we come back, Stage 2 will be underway when we get ready to go back green flag racing up. We still got a couple of guys on pit road, so we'll get you caught back up when we come back. When we come back, there we go. It'll be Brian Smith in the lead, Cody Neal, Braxton DeWeese, Nathan Finnegan, Kevin Gunther, Jacob Smith. In fact, we're going to keep it right here since the iRacing.com pace truck has already turned its lights off. So we will bring you the green flag here.
Braxton DeWeese up 7 spots from the beginning of this race. That's a remarkable drive up to the front.
Drive it like you stole it.
Ooh.
Here they come into turns 3 and 4. The iRacing.com pace truck leading us through. Ryan Patty, the final spot here on the lead lap. Brock Hersey, Kyle Gilbert, and Hanover Fist. They're going to sit there as we hit the Geico restart zone. Barney waves the green flag, and we're back underway. Contact early on here between the 31. Oh, my. And now I can't record events anymore. This is good. This is helpful.
Yeah, must have just spun the tires up and missed a shift, but that was not what Kevin Gunther was hoping for on that restart.
Definitely not. "56 laps in the books, working our way toward lap 100. Drivers getting themselves settled in for the time being. Brian Smith up a position and leads us, but don't look now. Braxton DeWeese, it's almost like he decided that he wanted a challenge. And now Braxton DeWeese is looking on here, trying to figure out how he's going to get around Brian Smith. And, you know, this may be one of those situations where you can get up to him, but passing him is a completely different game.
Yeah, you are very right about that. Especially with the way this track has been roasting the tires up. It's going to be, you got to make those passes happen early, or you just got to get in line and be patient. But a tremendous drive from the back of the field for Braxton DeWeese to be fighting for the winning spot.
Just about 40 to go here in stage number 2 as we see Braxton DeWeese now look to the inside. Here comes a pass for the lead. Braxton DeWeese goes side by side with the 78 and just blows the doors right off of Brian Smith and snatches the lead away like milk money. Oh my.
Yeah, the way Brian Smith left the inside open on number 3, I didn't think he was going to fight it too hard.
No, I think he even wrote in the wall, Brooks was here, as he hung Brian Smith out to dry. Now, Jacob Smith, we look a little bit further back here. He's here in the 21. He looks to the inside of Cody Neal, but Neal is there to block him. Quite a battle going on early here in stage number 2.
Oh, move further back. Third car on the inside of the 6. They want a piece of the lead action.
Here
Ryan
comes
Patty
Cody
getting
Neal
up there.
having to hold off the 21. He can't do it. Jacob Smith gets around. They're side by side. They can almost waggle one another's fingers at each other through the window net. I think he just tried to give him a wet willy. I'm not sure. But he definitely snuck up behind him, and now he's thrown it here. To the high side is Cody Neal. Oh my. I've never seen shoving like that.
And Ryan Patty's got pace. He's coming in quicker than any of these guys. He set his personal best the lap before.
Well, Ryan Patty's here in the number 30 Kellogg's Grinch machine. And right now, he almost played the Grinch. He was ready to stare into the abyss and perhaps cancel dinner on himself once again as he was trying to take away Jacob Smith in the 21.
It looks like Brian Smith is getting right up on the back of Braxton DeWeese. Maybe that tire fall off is already starting to play a role.
Braxton DeWeese here looking back at Brian Smith in the Truex Jr. throwback paint scheme. And DeWeese having to hold him off, and I think you're right, I think he may have used a lot of tire. Oh, because Brian Smith is trying to send him a message.
Oh, and a big blink.
Brian Smith is trying to send Braxton DeWeese a big message. Here he comes to the inside. Let's see who gets the better drive. It's going to be DeWeese for the time being. Smith isn't going to have the grip that he needs to be able to hold that rotation down on the low side without losing the rear end in these cars. Now, the next gen car, that's a different story, but in these cars, you can't get on the throttle that hard, otherwise you're going to lose the rear.
Yeah, these cars have a tendency to light up those tires pretty easy.
Jacob Smith now looking to the rear of Cody Neal. Nathan Finnegan and Braxton DeWeese are the only two drivers right now who have gained any spots. Brian Smith is right where he began in P2. Cody Neal and Jacob Smith are down 2 spots and 1 spot, respectively. Ryan Patty's down a spot. Kyle Gilbert is way down and off the track. So he's decided to beat everybody to the beer stand. Obviously, he heard that I said that beer was cheaper here than lemonade. That's no word of a lie. Lemonade was $7.50, beer was $5. It's a $2.50 difference. That means for every 2 beers that I drank, I saved enough money to buy another beer. By the end of the day, it was well, I was tired.
Where did you study math and economics?
I studied mathematics at the feet of the D.G. Yingling and Son Brewery in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. America's oldest brewery since 1829. A brewery so old that at the time of his birth in 1809, by the time Abraham Lincoln was 20, that's when the brewery opened. He couldn't have even drank the beer there.
Modern laws, you are correct, Dave.
Just saying.
This top 6 is just clicking off lap times just as fast as the car ahead of them. This really is an awesome battle going on.
They really are, and I mean, you know, these drivers, they seem to, it's almost like synchronized swimming. It's synchronized swimming, and let's take a look at that dashboard. At 171 miles per hour. And now I'm watching them all on separate timing and scoring, which is what generates the graphic that you folks at home can see as we peel back the curtain. And I'm watching them all, and it literally is synchronized. They all drop down to that 142, 149, 150, and then all of a sudden they're back on the throttle, and you're watching literally every number change at the exact same time, at the exact same rate. I mean, Colin, this is incredible.
The last lap time that I've been looking at is practically the same each lap for all 6 of these cars.
Yeah, we have a 24:21 for Braxton DeWeese, 24:27 and 28 for Smith and Neal. 24:17, so actually faster than our race leader for Jacob Smith. 29. Wow. Yeah, you are not kidding, sir. That's
we have a 24:38 and a 24:38 that time by. That's a 24:33.
Awesome.
Yeah, they are really clicking off lap times that are very similar to one another.
Well, and don't look now, but we're 25 laps from the end of stage 2. And that being said, with 25 to go in stage 2, we're going to step aside and pay some bills on Sim Racing Media. Keep it right here, though. We're going to go NASCAR side-by-side live on Sim Racing Media. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Colin McDonough and Dave Rigo with you here at the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. We'll be right back.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
get caught defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom. Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Welcome back to Dover Motor Speedway, where Braxton DeWeese leads the way. But right now, the story is the battle deeper in the field. The 21 of Jacob Smith giving all kinds of heck and havoc to Nathan Finnegan in the 6 machine. While we were away, you folks were watching some great battles, but here we are back at Dover Motor Speedway, formerly known as Dover Downs International Speedway. Dave Regal and Colin McDonough with you in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. We want to thank everybody for tuning in, making us a part of your evening here in prime time. There's Mama Mac McConville. Mama Mac, miss you. Can't wait till next season. Mama Mac checking in over on Facebook. Chris DeWeese says, great job, number 5. Let's go get it. 48 wins on the year and trying to get 50 wins in a year. So Chris DeWeese cheering on Braxton for win number 50. And the Allen Experience says if you own a bar and would like to be a sponsor. I love you, Allen. Gotta love him.
Cody Neal is really the only threat to Braxton DeWeese right now, because they've cleared these other 3 by a solid 3.5 seconds.
Yeah, it's actually 3.84 seconds. You know, I don't want to be that guy, but here I go. I happen to see a clip here on TV on Sunday Night Football of a neighborhood, I'm assuming a suburb of Dallas. It just looks weird to have Christmas lights and no snow or chance. You know that people are walking around in shorts and T-shirts.
Yeah,
at least we have this light coating of snow here.
Yep. Yeah, the snow is upon us.
It's like my mom. She lives in Myrtle Beach, and people put lights on their palm trees. I realize that it is the Palmetto State, but it doesn't feel right.
Cody Nealon is falling off the pace from Braxton DeWeese a little bit, but still increasing the gap to Brian Smith. Almost up to 4 seconds now.
4 seconds it is. Braxton DeWeese leading the way now by a half second over Cody Neal. And now an even 4 seconds between Neal and Brian Smith. Another battle starting to brew deeper in the field right now. Taking a look here at the 6 of Nathan Finnegan, chasing down the Grinch machine. of Ryan Patty.
Ryan did a great job to get through those cars. Oh no! Trouble off of 2.
We stay green. Let's see if we can run that back quick. Oh!
Wow. How he got that car straightened out, I'm not sure. There's a
Very
big
careful.
lick on the ball.
5 to go here in stage 2. We're working lap number 96. Braxton DeWeese leads the way. Jacob Smith, though, still trying to give the business to Nathan Finnegan. We'll go on board here with Finnegan and look back at Smith. Oy vey.
Yeah, that's been a real heated battle between the two of them.
Well,
Kept
at
it
this
going
stage
in
of
the
the race,
right
you can't blame
direction.
him.
No, of course not. This one matters. How close some of these cars have gotten to one another, I've been amazed at the fact that they've been keeping it green.
I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but here I am. You're only amazed because you don't watch this league enough?
That's fair.
When you're amazed because you see so many other leagues that are just this side of garbage?
Yeah, most leagues don't quite have the bumper to bumper without contact at 170 miles an hour that's being displayed with Icon right now.
Well, and I'll tell you what, I mean, you know, I would say 95% of the leagues that we have here on Sim Racing Media that we broadcast, almost all of them run like Icon does. Very clean, very mindful,
Yep.
very demure.
Well played, Dave Regal.
Yeah,
Well
see
played.
that? You just walked straight into it.
Certainly did.
As here we are in the final lap of stage number 2 and coming out of turn 4, crossing the start-finish line is Braxton DeWeese, as Braxton's going to get the green and white checkered flag. We're going to go under caution. For some reason that pulls everything into shadow. Let's see if we'll be able to find Braxton DeWeese this time, since we couldn't get a hold of Brian Smith last time. Of course not. Just kidding. It's all good, kids. Braxton DeWeese brings home the green and white checkered flag. He's followed by Cody Neal, Brian Smith, Nathan Finnegan, Jacob Smith, Ryan Patty, and Kevin Gunther. That's your top 7. Those drivers all on the lead lap going to be coming down pit road now. And as they come around that turn there, of course, this is kind of an interesting entrance to pit road. It's almost in the exact middle of turn 3 and 4, and it's quite a transfer, if you will, to get off the high banking here and onto the flat of the apron.
It's a really tricky pit road to get on under green flag conditions. You have to. I've never mastered the art of throwing it down there between turn 4, turn 3 and 4. I always put it down on the apron on the backstretch and get the car slowed down. But it is a huge speed differential between the backstretch pace and this 30-something mile an hour speed limit.
Ooh.
That was feisty.
I think Cody Neal really did beat Braxton DeWeese off of pit road. Now, you have to understand, Braxton DeWeese finished qualified in 10th. He actually didn't qualify at all. So Braxton DeWeese had that final pit box. So he was the first to dive into the pit box, but the amount of time that it took him to go from the pit box all the way to the end of pit road where Cody Neal was enough where Cody Neal, our pole sitter, just took the lead back from Braxton DeWeese.
Lights are off on the pace track. We'll double them up and get ready to go again, this time for 100 laps.
I don't want to jinx it, but if the first 100 laps were any indication, we're going to see some really great racing for the next 100.
It's been a really fun one to watch, Dave.
I mean, it's always fun when you get to see some of these guys just go out here, lay it all out. And I mean, you know, some of them have really been battling one another. I mean, you know, the only car that's down any laps right now and still out on track is Hanover Fist. He's down 7 laps. He's not going to get those back, that's for sure. But Brock Hersey and Kyle Gilbert both out. Cody Neal takes the green flag, stage 3 underway. Let's see who's going to bring home the checkers here at Dover Motor Speedway.
Oh no! Well, I don't know how he kept that going. That was incredible.
Here we are. Watch the 21 of Jacob Smith. He comes down across the nose of the 5, and these cars just tough enough. Keep it moving forward.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Now, Dave, on this 100-lap stint, we're going to see some green flag pit stops, I suspect. At least one of them. That backstretch wall coming out of 2 seems to kind of jump out and bite these cars.
Cody Neal and Braxton DeWeese going down the back chute. So waiting for a replay down in Arlington. Braxton DeWeese
really wants this spot back.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Braxton DeWeese almost looks at it and says, "Hey, that was mine."
As Jacob Smith sets the fastest lap of the race.
These guys, oh, they're nearly 3 wide.
Oh, there he goes, 3 wide.
Look at this. 91 laps to go. And they're side by side, all but 3 wide down here through turns 3 and 4. And now we come back together. Look at this mess here. Oh, this is dangerous. This is usually a pucker factor 4. Watch Cody Neal and Braxton DeWeese. They're going to go at it here. But enter the 30 machine. Oh, my.
Oh, and if I'm Braxton DeWeese, I'm really concerned about the fact that Jacob Smith is back there as well.
Ryan Patty has about the best seat in the house. Whoa!
Oh, no! Oh, no.
And he still doesn't bring out the caution. Ryan Patty bounces off the outside wall, goes sideways. Fishtails gets down on the apron. See, now that could have brought the caution out, but it didn't. I wonder if these are all manual cautions thrown by race control.
They must be.
Yeah, because there's a car stopped dead on the track. Okay. And now we know.
That is heartbreak for Ryan Patty.
Well, he's just got to gather himself back up and go after it again.
Extremely competitive field. It may only be a 10-car field, but this racing is phenomenal.
Yeah, but see, you know what? I would rather take 10 cars that really want to go out here and race rather than 30 cars that don't know which direction to go.
That's, I'm with you 100%, Dave.
You know, that's what they call quantity over quality, or quality over quantity. And, you know, these guys, 7 left on the lead lap. Unfortunately, Ryan Patty right now, last on the lead lap after that kerfuffle a couple of laps ago now, 5 laps ago now. But we've got a battle for the lead on 117 here.
Nathan Finnegan going around the long way.
Finnegan figured out that there's some speed locked up there in that middle group.
Those are some nervous moments coming up too wide. Once again, we see these drivers locked in with lap times 23:84 or 23:85. That top 4 is just clicking off a lot of laps that are seemingly the same.
You know, you almost have to wonder if they practice together.
It does make you think that they hung out on the pits, got everybody together, rolled out on a practice lap, all one after the other, single file.
I mean, many of them are sitting in the same race chat on Discord. You can't see who's on which team. It looks like Brian and Jacob Smith and Cody Neal. Those 3, 4, and 5. And oddly enough, they are running the closest time together. Just about the closest time together. 23:99 and 98. Smith is the only one that's off pace on that lap. But they're all in the KU Motorsports stable. Ah, a clue, Sherlock.
Nathan Finnegan is slowly but surely extending that lead. A couple hundredths at a time.
Watching the 78 of Brian Smith just behind Cody Neal. And it looks like because they're all kind of running this 3, 4, 5, segment here. Oh. All of a sudden, the 78 sees the opportunity to the inside of Cody Neal. And now steals away fourth position. Good gravy. Nathan Finnegan leading the way now over top of Braxton DeWeese.
It looks like that middle lane through 3 and 4 is really starting to come to life.
I mean, that's where you've almost got to put yourself. Something about a rodeo that just, again, the folks on Sunday Night Football trying to put something interesting on, considering the Cowboys are awful. They put these rodeos on. Something about rodeos that I feel like is a little outdated. Whoa!
Oh my goodness. And that's going to put him almost 3 wide going into 3.
Nearly watch this grouping here. Brian Smith, Braxton DeWeese, and Cody Neal. Braxton DeWeese has now been gobbled up by Brian Smith, who makes the pass for P2. He's going to try to set sail and go after Nathan Finnegan. Now Braxton DeWeese is caught between Smith and Neal. Jacob Smith looking from behind. He's back here kind of lurking around like a lion in the desert. A lion in the Serengeti, if you will.
Those are those moments coming off a turn 2 where you can really make or break your race. Braxton DeWeese
All I had to do was
slowly
talk smack
closing in
about
on Brian Smith.
Nathan Finnegan running all up here in almost his own zip code, 4/10 of a second ahead of Brian Smith and Braxton DeWeese. DeWeese here still kind of in the middle of a salad bowl. Needs to figure out where to go and what to do. Ryan Patty runs in 7th position. He's still trying to get his way up here to Kevin Gunther, who runs about a half lap ahead of him. The scary thing for Patty is that he's just this side of a full lap down. Ryan Patty on the radar now of Nathan Finnegan, who may be putting him down a lap. Brian Smith, Braxton DeWeese, they sit just behind him, with Cody Neal looking on from 4th position.
Yeah, this is the last thing that Nathan Finnegan wants to see is 2 lap cars next to one another on track, as looks like Hanover Fisk is going to let them all go by. Peels off the pit road.
Believe me, you don't want to be the leader and have to navigate around, lap cars this late in the race, especially on lap 133. We're now less than 70 to go. And these guys have put a lot of good time in here. They've done a lot of good racing. Nathan Finnegan leads the way now with Brian Smith in tow, but as we go on board with Finnegan, now we can see Ryan Patty as Hanover Fisk comes down pit road early.
We know that Ryan Patty's carrying around a little bit of damage from that earlier incident.
Here they are coming down the backstretch. Nathan Finnegan just behind Ryan Patty.
Oh no! Oh my goodness!
Oh! And that brings
looks
out the
like-
first caution for cause of the evening.
It looks like Nathan Finnegan shot down to go down and make a pit stop.
Oh, God.
And shot straight back up the track into 3.
Let's find out what happened. 78 behind him. Oh! Yeah. He went to go down to go to pit road, and the car just got itself upset. Oh, dear. Well, that changes the ball game.
Certainly does. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's gonna Ryan Patty's gonna be your lucky dog candidate. I'll get him back in the mix.
Brian Smith going to come down pit road here.
Question is, will these cars make it that 63 laps on fuel that they have remaining now?
No, sir. Can't do it. They'd be about 5 laps short, I think.
Wonder if anybody will try to save and make it work. Save 5 laps.
I mean, realistically, it'd be a fool not to try. But we'll find out when we come back here on Sim Racing Media. I want to thank everybody for tuning in here on YouTube.com and, of course, over on the SRM Facebook page. I want to thank everybody for making us a part of your evening here on Sunday Night NASCAR. Kind of Sunday Night NASCAR. You're watching the my goodness, the Icon Holiday Mixer Series with Dave Regal and Colin McDonough. We'll be back after these messages. Don't go away. We're going to be NASCAR side by side.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom. Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker, the future is feeling.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is Iracing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is Iracing.
Welcome back to Dover Motor Speedway, where Brian Smith has taken over as the race leader after Nathan Finnegan had a little bit of bad luck a few moments ago. Braxton DeWeese running in second. Ryan Patty and Kevin Gunther, that's your top 4. And right now, as it stands, as they come out of turn 4, that's going to put Jacob Smith down. So just 4 cars left on the lead lap. Dave Regal and Colin McDonough with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. You're watching the Icon Holiday Mixer Series live on Sim Racing Media. We want to thank you for tuning in, for welcoming us into your homes, onto your phones, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. Mama Mac McConville checking in over on our Facebook page. Of course, we appreciate that. We love Mama Mac on Sunday Night NASCAR and Monday Night NASCAR. Sim Racer saying absolutely cooking for Braxton tonight. He wouldn't be wrong, that's for sure. But Colin, I mean, here we are, just about 50 to go, and these drivers not giving up any room.
No, not at all. This has been a tremendous showing. I noticed Jacob Smith is down on pit road for an extended stay, which actually could bring Hanover Fist, who was 7 laps down earlier in this race, back into the top 5.
Talk about patience winning out.
And there he goes. Your 5th place running car at Hanover Fist.
Just kind of funny to me. Huh, finished in the top 5. Yeah, 9 laps down.
Up 3 spots. That's awesome. That just goes to show you, man. It's always worth running all the laps that you can.
Well, I'll tell a story from Sunday Night NASCAR. Sunday Night NASCAR. Of course, their chief cook and bottle washer, Chris Claude. I raced with him for a few years before making the transition into the broadcast booth and out of the cockpit. But Chris was one of those guys where, you know, he could be damaged, limping around on 3 wheels in a car called Lucky. But he would stay out and run every lap because he knew that every point counted. And,
yep.
You know, there were times where he was getting top 10 and top 8 finishes because, you know, you're at Martinsville and everybody else is driving a crushed tin can. And, you know, he'd just stay out there. I mean, he wasn't the fastest car. He certainly wasn't the best car. But Chris Claude had this mentality where you just went out and ran as many laps as you possibly could. And Hanover Fist right now is doing that exact thing. You know, he starts, first of all, back in 8th position, so not exactly that great of a start, and now is going to finish in the top 5, you know, without a car that even had a chance.
Yeah, you just never know. Brian Smith clicking off lap times. I was just about to say, I suspected we'd see Braxton DeWeese closing in, and we start seeing him on our monitors. The gap is ever so slightly shrinking.
It's because it's cold outside.
Braxton DeWeese running about 0.03 per lap quicker than Brian Smith.
Some fast facts here. Go ahead.
No, give it to me. I want the fast facts.
Some fast facts here about Dover Motor Speedway. And, you know, this is after the Dover Down split, of course. But oddly enough, fastest qualifying lap, Chase Elliott, in the 2019 version. So this car,
Yep.
22.203 seconds. Fastest in a truck is Brett Moffitt back in 2019. And fastest Xfinity, this name didn't even... Who? Jesse Love. This year, 23.261.
All right.
Very strange.
Hey, man. You never know who's going to have the perfect setup for one fast lap.
Who was the first winner here at Dover?
Oh, man. Oh. What year was this track constructed?
First major auto race here was in 69.
69. Oh, man. That's like, what, Yarborough, Andretti era?
Richard Petty.
Richard Petty, of course.
Yep. Pretty interesting as far as I'm concerned. You don't realize how old some place is until, you know, like you start to see, oh, this happened there? Yes. You have to understand, this track opened as a combined horse and auto racing facility.
Right.
Under the guy who, at the time, was the Attorney General of Delaware. Can we say dirty money?
Yeah.
Not that there's ever been any dirty money in politics, ever. Recently. But, you know, I mean, first of all, this place only has a capacity of 54,000. That's just barely more than Citizens Bank Park here in South Philadelphia at 46,000. And, of course, it's right next to the Bally's Casino, which I had mentioned earlier. That's where that Ally walkover track is. But,
right.
You know, of course, how do I explain it? The track owner back in the day, there were some money troubles, of course, because of how much it cost to put on a NASCAR event and then how much the track was getting back in return.
Right.
So thank God for the legalization of slot machines in Delaware, because without that, in the mid-'90s, this place would be a parking lot.
Now, Dave. Braxton gets a little bit of the bumper from none other than Jacob Smith, who they had their moment earlier this race, and Jacob's just trying to get his laps back now after coming off the pit road. He's clicking off some quick lap times.
Never understood why they called horse tracks downs.
I never understood that. I don't know. There's got to be some lore there. Ooh, it's Kevin Gunther. He's down pit road.
First of all I had to do was why are horse racing, and then it says tracks. Google guessed what I was asking.
Yeah.
And here we go.
Is scary.
Here we go. Why do now? This is from Google, so don't quote me on this. This is obviously AI answering. But it comes from downland. A downland is an area of open chalk hills. This term is especially used to describe the chalk countryside in southern England. Areas of downland are often referred to as downs, deriving from a Celtic word for hills. So the flat area at the bottom of hills where they would have these tracks would have been called downs.
That makes perfect sense.
Why is it called Churchill Downs? The Churchill sons leased a portion to a nephew named Meriwether Lewis Clark Jr., the
Here
grandson
comes
of the
Brian Smith
famed
down the
explorer
road in
William
Dickey
Clark.
Speed. Brian Smith locked it up through the cones. Sorry to interrupt, Dave. That was
that you had something that was definitely more important.
that was a big moment for Brian Smith. I'm concerned about whether or not he got a penalty. As here comes Braxton Deweese. Will he do the same?
Oh, he slid in.
I don't know.
Things are going to get real hairy real fast. It's going to be hairier than a Lithuanian woman's armpit, that's for sure.
Ryan Patty assumes the lead now.
Apologies to those from Lithuania.
As I suspect, perhaps Ryan Patty is clutching in and trying to save fuel. Oh, no, I just saw his top speed. I doubt it. Maybe.
Working lap 173. We are just about 25 to go here at Dover Motor Speedway. Dave Regal and Colin McDonough with you here. You know, now that I said it out loud, your last name's McDonough. Shouldn't you know something about white chalk and Irish hills and whatnot?
Probably. Scott's Irish, man. I've said it before. I'm a mutt. Polish, Irish, Italian, Scottish somewhere. It's
so basically
mix.
a whole lot of Caucasian food in that house, huh? Not a whole lot of adobo being served there.
But it's a good kind of Caucasian food. Oh my goodness.
Ryan Patty just grinched his way onto pit road sideways. Wait, is there Kellogg's Grinch cereal? I just got a
I'm sure there must have been a special edition at some point.
Researching.
Brian Smith and Braxton Deweese, I have not seen them come back down, so I suspect they do not have any speeding penalties to serve. Will Ryan Patty fare as well? Brian Smith has cycled back to the lead. As we see, Braxton Deweese has just clicked off a 22.87 personal best lap.
22.87, you're boogieing around this thing.
Yeah, that's Ryan Patty's still holding the fastest lap at a 22.82.
Well, what that does is move 4 cars here onto the lead lap. Hanover Fist down 10 laps now. He doesn't even care. Jacob Smith is down 15 laps, so as long as Hanover Fist keeps chugging along here, we'll be fine. CD Lamb has a boo-boo.
Yeah, a tremendous turn of events for Hanover Fist. And not to mention that Braxton Deweese is up 8 spots from where he started, which is, you know, a tall order in and of itself.
Right now, as it goes, it's fast time just laid down by Ryan Patty at 22.77. Good grief!
That's fast.
I mean, that's faster than. That's a 1/10 of a second faster than Braxton Deweese's fast time at 22.87.
Yep, and it's a solid 3/10 faster than your leader's best lap of a 23.08. And he goes fastest again at a 22.76.
just to mess with us.
Ryan Patty is just on a charge.
Now you're just showing off.
Hey, he had some bad luck early on in this race. So the fact that he's in that top 4, good on him.
I mean, at this point, it seems like it's a blessing for anybody to be on the lead lap here with 20 to go. Dave Regal and Colin McDonough with you here. You're watching the Icon Holiday Mixer Series. Don't forget, next week is going to be Championship Night. And, of course, that was just reminded to me by the Allen Experience. You can check that out over here on the YouTube page. Of course, I just lost the cursor. Thanks for that one.
Should check in with Alan and see if he has the Allen Experience Boneheaded Move of the Night award to hand out to anyone.
Nobody made one. But to Alan's point, next week is Championship Night here. It'll be next Sunday night, right here, 8 p.m. Eastern, in prime time. However, we'll be in the Next Gen Cup car at Old Atlanta.
Oh, that'll be fun.
You know, and they've really done a nice job the way that Icon has formed this league up. I mean, for starters, they started with the 87 cars. They moved themselves right into the Gen 4s, and then the car tomorrow here in the Gen 6s, and next week in the Next Gen cars. Iracing, fortunately, has made all of these vehicles immortal thanks to the magic of computer science and laser scanning. So that being said, we've been able to move through every generation of standardized NASCAR, NASCAR essentially standard car.
Right. It's a pretty awesome thing to do, to recount the history.
Brian Smith, Braxton DeWeese, Kevin Gunther, and Ryan Patty, your top 4. And Turpin just gets hurled down to the turf.
Oop. Ryan Patty
400-pound manster.
Kevin Gunther. Not sure what happened to Kevin just there.
I don't know, but that keeps Kevin on the lead lap. No, it doesn't. There he goes. No, it doesn't. It's still showing Kevin Gunther on the lead lap.
I believe Kevin Gunther should be on the lead lap, from what I have seen.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he's
12
12
right.
seconds.
Yeah.
12 seconds back.
Yeah, I got it. Tell you what, I don't know who this guy is for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but he looks like about a 400-pound manster, half man, half monster. I think he was born next to a nuclear power plant.
He's closing 11 laps. Can Braxton DeWeese reel in that half-second gap to Brian Smith? And I just don't know what's going to happen looking at their lap times.
Well, things starting to slow down lap time-wise, but I'll tell you what, we're ticking these laps down one by one. 11 to go now here in the Icon Holiday Mixer Series from Dover Motor Speedway. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us tonight as, of course, we take a peek over here on Facebook.com. Mama Mac McConville, she's checking in as always. And, of course, over on YouTube, our traditional feed, the Allen Experience, Chris DeWeese, Sim Racer. They've all checked in. Why haven't you? And if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe, turn on those bell notifications, and let us know that you're tuned in. And, of course, as long as you turn those notifications on, you can be told every time we go live right here on Sim Racing Media.
Dave, I gotta say, I've been amazed that Brian Smith, just lap after lap, I'm seeing the same line and just utter consistency out of him. You know, he may be 3/10 up, 3/10 slower than the fastest lap on track, but my gosh, he's so consistent on his lap times.
Well, here's the thing, especially when you look here at Brian Smith. He's got nothing but clean racetrack in front of him. And this is a rhythm kind of track. Once you get into that groove, first off, you don't have to be right up against the asphalt on the bottom. You don't have to be too high against the wall. There's a lot of racing surface that's available here at Dover. And once you get yourself into a good groove, especially when you're able to start gapping the rest of the field now, Braxton DeWeese trailing by 1.12 seconds, you can really, set sail and really put the hurt on a lot of people. And like I said, this is a rhythm racetrack. That's what it's about.
Yeah, the moment you can really get single file on this track, you have the opportunity to drive away from those behind you. But when somebody's right up next to you, the walls out of 2 and 4 really kind of jump out at you.
Chris DeWeese says it's a tight race car. I'll tell you what, it looks like a great race car. 5 laps to go here. And Brian Smith seems to have this thing put away and salted like a fine piece of meat. He's followed by Braxton DeWeese by about 1.5 seconds. Ryan Patty and Kevin Gunther gapped by even more. So Brian Smith looks like he's going to be able to put this one away like yesterday's dirty laundry.
Yeah, Kevin Gunther must have had a bit of a moment a few laps back when Ryan Patty got around him, because he's 7 seconds off of Ryan at this point.
Brian Smith leads the way, 3 laps to go. He rolls himself out of turn number 2. And we can see those popsicles go in the air with 2 laps to go. Two laps to go for Brian Smith, who comes down the backstretch and into turn number 3. He qualified on the front row. He got himself around our pole sitter what seems to be forever ago, of course, Ryan Patty. And as he crosses the start-finish line, the popsicle sticks go down, the white flag is in the air, and we're racing back to checkers. Brian Smith controls this field now by 2.26 seconds and then some. Braxton DeWeese giving a little bit of steam up here as Ryan Patty and Kevin Gunther round out your lead lap cars. And coming out of turn 4 one final time, Barney puts the checkers in the air, and Brian Smith wins it here at Dover Motor Speedway for the Icon Racing Series Holiday Mixer live at Dover Motor Speedway. Brian Smith, Braxton DeWeese, Ryan Patty, and Kevin Gunther, your top 4. Congratulations to Brian Smith, driver of the number 78 Martin Truex Jr. Furniture Row throwback paint scheme tonight. You know, NBC always cuts to a shot of Jerry Jones, and these guys are whispering into his ears, and you would think that it was the Last Supper and 2 disciples trying to talk to Christ. Here's Brian Smith popping up here into the waiting room. Hey, Brian, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Dave, I got you loud and clear.
Buddy, listen, congratulations. You managed to get the win away from Braxton DeWeese, who really, he wanted to come out here and try to notch win number 49 for the year on himself, but you wind up picking up the important win tonight right here at Dover.
Yeah, that was a ton of fun. I love racing the Gen 6 car. I love racing at Dover, so this is a really good combination for me. And what a blast. Not a huge field, but it was all super tight. I got stuck behind Braxton, I think, at the start of the second stage, and couldn't really do anything in the dirty air, and learned a lot riding behind him. Learned how important track position was, but then, at the start of the third stage, I got shuffled back and decided to go into tire saving mode, and sucks what happened with Finnegan getting on pit road. But after that, it was just long run speed, 250 lap runs, and did a really good job saving the tires, did a conservative pit strategy, and got the job done tonight.
Yeah, Colin had mentioned during the broadcast that it seemed like you were hitting your marks every time. And I mean, you proved to us, at least up here in the broadcast booth, how important it is to hit those marks and to be consistent out on the racetrack. I mean, where did you find that consistency? And is that just something for, as long as we had the Gen 6 car, something that you really, honed over the years, or is that something that you just recently picked up?
I've been on iRacing, I think, 12 years now. I think I've got over 160,000 laps turned, and a lot of those have been in the Gen 6 Cup car. So I just attribute it to that, and I tell people the way to race Dover is just underdrive exit of 2 and 4 every time, because there really is no margin for error. And if you don't really hit your mark and wrap that bottom, all you end up doing is cooking that right front. And you cook the right front here, you're toast, because just can't pick up speed off corner exit. And did a good job of it tonight, and obviously had the long run speed to get it done.
Yes, sir. Well, listen, before we cut you loose and get you out of here, who do you need to thank and who helped you get it done on the 78 team?
I want to thank everyone who was out on track tonight. Like I said, the start of that third stage was absolutely nuts. That was so much fun. Just tight racing. Everyone was super respectful. So thanks to everyone that runs the league for putting this holiday series on. It's been a blast. Been a ton of fun car track combos. And thanks to you guys for doing the broadcast, and thanks to everyone for watching.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, listen, if we don't see you before then, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and we will see you next Sunday night for championship night right here on Sim Racing Media. Thanks, Brian.
Yep, thanks, guys. Looking forward to it.
That the voice of Brian Smith. And before we get out of here, we'll take one quick stop here with Ryan, Patty, and Colin. I think you have Ryan down on pit road.
Hey, Ryan, it's Colin and Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, fellas. Yeah, I'm here. How you doing?
Doing well. Ryan, can you take us through that race and your experience? Because it seemed like it was a little bit rough at one point, and you ended up finishing third with the fastest lap, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow, that's news to me. I didn't realize I had the fastest lap, but yeah, it was definitely you had to relearn how to drive this car all over again. It's funny, I used to love this car when it was the primary cup car for us, and then obviously moving over to the next gen, things changed quite a bit with the way you drive the car around these tracks. So, getting a handle for corner exit, learning where the wall is was definitely a bit of an eye opener there. I think more than a few of us met that wall on corner exit a few times, and trying to figure out how to manage the tires too was interesting tonight, because one thing that we didn't take into account was, with such a low car count because of the holidays, the track state never really got up to a percentage where the track was rubbered in. So the first couple of runs there, our right front tires were really just getting scorched.
Now, was the track temperature the thing that was killing you guys the most out there?
No, I don't think so. I mean, track temp is good when it's high. Obviously it makes it a little slicker. You can move the car around a little bit more. But really, with there no rubber in the track, it takes a lot of rubber out of the tires with such a low track state. So we were seeing really high tire wear in the first, especially in the first run there. We had a few guys have tire failures coming to the first caution. But after that, things kind of got a little bit more comfortable, and by that final run, I think we were all real comfortable. And I'll say too, I almost forgot, right? I almost went a lap down there, got saved by a lucky caution. I thought we were going to be done for with having that spin and no caution, but somehow, I don't know what happened with Finnegan. I've got to go back and look at it, but we caught a yellow, got the lucky dog, and maintained a podium finish here.
Well, congratulations. Awesome job. And is there anybody you want to shout out and thank for getting you here tonight?
Yeah, just thanks to everyone for showing up here this week. I know it's tough, right? Holiday weeks, and with this holiday series, we're trying to give folks some competition for the off season here. But good to see. It was funny. We had a low car count, but we were all saying it's all the fast guys that tend to show up tonight. So even though we didn't have a full field like we're used to here with 30 or 40 drivers, the guys that did show up were blazing fast. So I appreciate them all, and thanks everyone for coming out, and thank you guys in the booth for putting this on for us and sticking with us through the winter months.
Thanks for putting on a great show tonight.
Appreciate you guys.
Have a good one.
That, of course, the voice of Ryan Patty, driver the number 30. We want to thank him for his time. And we want to thank all of you for checking in and riding along with us tonight here at Dover Motor Speedway as we get ready to chalk another one up here. Let's take one final look at our race results. As we bring those up, Brian Smith brings home the checkered flag. He's followed by Braxton DeWeese and Ryan Patty on the podium. Then rounding out the rest of the field on your lead lap was Kevin Gunther. In your top 5, Hanover Fist. Jacob Smith finishes in 6th with Cody Neal in 7th. Nathan Finnegan in 8th with Brock Hersey in 9th. And rounding out the rest of the field after just 47 laps in the books, Kyle Gilbert, he finishes dead last. Unfortunately, somebody had to do it, and Kyle beats everybody to the beer stand tonight. So for myself, Dave Regal, and my broadcast partner extraordinaire, Mr. Colin McDonough, we want to thank all of you for making us a part of your evening, for checking in with us and welcoming us into your homes, onto your phones, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. And tomorrow and every day as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.